Gang, you already know what it is. No harm, no foul. Your boy John back with another video. Whew, damn. Western Conference semifinals, man. Versus the Houston Micro Ball Rockets. All right, before I start, just want to go over some formalities. If you happen to stumble upon my channel, right, I'm not popping up in anybody's radar, bro. Right? Nobody's looking for me. Nobody knows me, bro. I'm fucking brand new here, right? So if you happen to find the Laker content that I'm putting out some kind of value to you, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button, right? If you don't like it, unsubscribe, unlike, whatever it's what. My thing is I'm just gonna keep pushing it, right? I'm gonna keep making videos, but if you do happen to stumble upon my channel, please consider subscribing and definitely hit the like button if you're into the content. Right. I'm also on Twitter. My handle is @LakerJohn, the number 3. You can go ahead and follow me there. I usually tweet out more. Obviously, it's easier to tweet than make videos. But you know, you'll definitely find me dropping, you know, some stuff on there too, some content on there too. You know, talking crap during the game and whatnot. Right. So go ahead and give me a follow there too as well. Right. So, anyways, that aside, right? First thing is first, right? I want to read a few articles just so we could kind of set the whole table up, right? Then I'll go from there. So, what's the basis for today's topic? So, going into this series, right? It seems like people, you know, because of the Rockets playing small ball, micro ball, whatever's, everybody's initial thinking is that we have to come in with a small ball lineup to match up with them, right? Which is, to me, kind of backwards thinking, right? We're the number 1 seed, right? We have pretty much the number 1 defense in the bubble right now, right? We pretty much have the 2 best players in the game, arguably 2 of the best players in the game right now. We're the number 1 seed in the toughest conference. So I don't get this whole dilemma of like us having to adjust to a team that's inferior to us. It just doesn't make sense to me, bro, right? And this further even backs it up when I did more research and I stumbled upon this article from SB Nation, which is one of my go-to news pressers, you know, to kind of like get some Lakers news and whatnot. And it's titled, Frank Vogel won't reveal if he'll change Lakers starters against the Rockets. And it's written by Harrison Fagan. So shout out to SB Nation. Shout out to Harrison Fagan for writing this. Always give credit where credit is due, baby. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and read off the intro, a couple intro lines, and then I'll kind of like skip to the part where it kind of hits hardest the most, right? Where it kind of hits the most. With the Lakers set to tip off the second round of the NBA playoffs against the Houston Rockets on Friday, head coach Frank Vogel isn't looking to give Houston any free looks at his game plan. The Rockets have gone all in on their micro ball starting lineup, not starting a single player over 6'7". It's led some to speculate that the Lakers, who start 2 7-footers in Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee, may have to adjust their own first unit in order to keep up. Initial thinking, right? Same with me. That's the first thing I thought of. Okay, cool. Houston coming in. You know, we're versatile, right? We're versatile. We can move Anthony Davis to the 5. Blah blah blah. You've heard the talk. I've heard the talk. We've all thought of it all year, whatnot. But when I dive more into it, into the research, it actually makes a lot of sense that we stay, right? I mean, not only because, like I mentioned earlier, we're the number 1 team, number 1 defensive team, and we have the 2 best players in the NBA, arguably, right? Just doesn't make sense to kind of like stoop down to another person's level and play their ball, right? Yeah. So, anyways, so let me go ahead and scroll down a bit and get to kind of like these last 3 paragraphs that kind of hit home more, right? Here we go. Whether or not the Lakers could play big, or if they'd be forced to play Davis significant minutes at the center despite his preference to play mostly the 4, was a topic of conversation all year, and especially in the lead up to the playoffs. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Let's go on to the next paragraph. Here we go. But for most of the year, the Lakers had success with Davis and McGee as their starters. So far in the playoffs, they haven't felt the need to change what got them here. And while I wasn't able to get a question to Davis about whether or not he'd be alright with such a change if it became necessary, he did answer to another reporter's question by saying that forcing the Rockets to adjust to the way the Lakers play was definitely the key to this matchup. Right? That's Anthony Davis saying that. Anyways, let's go on to the next paragraph. They bring a different dynamic to the game, Davis said, switching everything and playing with the way they play, shooting over the top and having 5 out. Nobody in the paint. Because they're all small ball and they all like to shoot threes, right? Where we have bigs who are used to playing against centers and not guarding the perimeter. It's going to be different for us, but at the same time, we want them to adjust to us the same way they are trying to force us to adjust to them by playing small ball. We have to make sure we dominate them on the offensive glass, another key point. We got to get boards, and also make them adjust to our size, right? Here's the thing. We all know that we have a lineup that could play small ball, right? So we could make adjustments if we have to, right? Now looking on the other side, Houston, with their small ball lineup, they cannot make adjustments. If they make adjustments, they're going to bring in scrubs and veterans that shouldn't even be playing anymore, right? And the likes of Tyson Chandler. He's my man. He's from Compton. Went to Dominguez High School. Big ups to him. Badass career. He's one of my boys, right? But that's not their game. They're not trying to adjust, right? And they don't have the personnel to adjust. And that's what pretty much a lot of this research really dives into, is the big point that they can't adjust and we could make an adjustment, right? So why don't we play our game? And if we're able to put our game and implement our game upon them, they're not going to have a chance to adjust because they don't have the personnel to make that adjustment, right? And if they can't make that adjustment, guess what, baby? Bring out the fucking brooms, boy! That's what I'm talking about, right? Fucking hit that like button for that shit, man. Anyways. Alright, damn, that shit got me hyped because that shit just makes so much goddamn sense. Damn, all this fucking small ball talk, bro. Okay, so there's 3 ways that Harden, I got some notes here. So there's 3 ways that Harden pretty much beats his opponents, right? Step back 3, dribble drive, right? And his free throws. He always gets to the fucking line, right? Harden gets to the line. That's how he pretty much amasses all his points through doing those 3 things. And when he does great doing those 3 things, especially when he dribble drives, that's when he starts getting the rest of the team involved, and that's when they get really, really scary. Let's bring up Harden's three-point percentage. Let's just say like the last handful of games, right? Or since the bubble. All right, first game 0%, right? 0 for 8, right, against the Clippers. Next game 182, right? 18%. Next game 30%. Next game 50%. He blew up, right? He did his thing, and that was against Minnesota. Next game 33%. Whatever's, right? We could live with that. Next game 25%. We could definitely live with that. Next game 37%, right, against Portland. Cool. Portland doesn't play defense, but that's still decent. 37%. Next game against us, bro, in the bubble. Remember that when LeBron James was hurt, or he wasn't hurt? We clinched and then we sat him out. We heavily experimented with small ball lineup. He shot 50%. Cool. Whatever's. We lost that game. Next game 25%. Next game he was inactive. Next game 50%. Next game 44%. Did really well against Indiana and Philly to close out the bubble regular season. Into the playoffs against OKC. First game 46%. Great. They won. They were plus 15. He was plus 10. He had a great game. And that's the thing about Harden. You're not going to stop Harden. He's going to have 1 or 2 games where he just dominates and you can't do shit about it, right? We've seen those games, right? That's why year in, year out, he's always in the conversation of MVP, right? Anyways, going on to the second game, he shot 18%. Next game, 23%. Next game, 40%, right? So those 4 games right there, he shot 46, 18, 20, 40, 23, 40. Next game, 50%. He's on a roll. He was plus 28. It was one of those games. But I'm telling you, they're playing OKC. ISO him and just make him play one-on-one basketball, which is too. I'm sure they schemed around it too, but the headlines of that story, Lou Dort guarding him, right? So whatever, 40%, 50%. In the last 2 games, 27%, and then last game he shot 11%. Right? 1 of 9, right? So if you're the only ones jacking up threes all the time at 35% against the Lakers, bro, you're not going to win that game. Now, on the offensive side, and this is crazy because when we switch it around on our offense, like we could easily say like, so who's gonna guard LeBron? Who's gonna guard AD, right? And that's the thing. I mean, I could even stop at that right there. But two things that we need to do well on the offensive side, and we've seen this all year long, right? The LeBron James and AD slip and screen. We've seen it all year, and they're gonna keep doing it over and over again. And that's the thing. When we have that, because we're playing a small team, the weak side help, he's not big enough. They're not big, and there's videos on this on Cranjis as well, that it shows that they cannot help on the weak side with PJ Tucker or whoever else is on that side. It's just too small, right? If they try to go up, and try to challenge it, it'll most likely be a foul. But for the most part, it's gonna be a lob dunk, you know? We'll take that fucking title of Lob City this playoffs right now. And you've seen it all year. We've been lobbing it left and right, right? I honestly can't wait till this game starts. I cannot wait until this game starts. I just really want to see how it goes on. And also the factor that they played 7 games, right? We seen yesterday, we seen last night's game. Well, I didn't see it. I was working. I've been working crazy ass hours. My damn supervisor kind of switched up the schedule on me, and I got to work night times, which is kind of messed up. I'm off tonight, which I'm thankful for. So I get to see tonight's game, and I get to see Sunday night's game. Tuesday night I'll be working, but I'm gonna try to drop a video. I'm gonna try to drop a video before work. I probably won't see it. Maybe I'll do a reaction video, so maybe something different after that, you know. But Tuesday I won't be in. Tuesday I won't be watching the game. Unfortunately, I'll be at work, probably watching on my phone. And Thursday as well, I won't be watching the game, unfortunately. But I'll try to drop a video before that game starts. So yeah, I honestly think after reading all this, I think it's a great analysis. I really think it's a great way to beat the Rockets. It just doesn't make sense that we, the number one team, the number one defensive team, the team that has arguably the 2 best players in the NBA, having to take a step down and play small ball and have to adjust to a team that doesn't even play defense well. I mean, their coach is D'Antoni, bro. Like, come on. I mean, defense isn't even in his terminology, and we're the ones tripping about having to adjust to them, right? And then going back to the whole if we're able to play our big lineup and be successful, there is no way Houston can make an adjustment just because they don't have the personnel to make the adjustment with, right? If our big lineup isn't efficient enough and isn't like just doing the job, we have the personnel to make adjustments. So I hope this video gives some kind of value to you. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and consider subscribing to me, man. If you happen to stumble upon this channel, dude, it is what it is. I'm calling it out. Here's what it is, right? Here's what it is. If we can dominate the first game with our big lineup, I'm fucking calling it a 4-game sweep, bro. Straight up.